Give Up to Go Up, where we've been thinking about things that we might need to give up so that we can go up in our friendship with God, so that our love for God and the way that we spend time with him and listen to him can get better. Our final Bible lesson for this month is about a lady in the Bible who gave up everything she had, even though it didn't look like very much. She gave what she had, knowing that God could use it. This story is in Mark 12, and you might want to read that this week. I'm going to set you one final challenge this week too, to think about what you have that you can give to God, no matter how little it is, so that you can go up in your friendship with him. So let's meet the star of our Bible lesson today.
Well, my story starts years and years ago. You see, as a child, I was taught all about giving to God, giving part of everything we get back to God to help serve others. I have always done this. I have always loved God and wanted to live right, doing the right thing and following him. But then my husband died, and I was left with not much money to live on. There was no money for treats or pretty or expensive things, and sometimes I struggled to even have enough money to buy food. But God has always looked after me. He has always made a way for me to have what I need, and I am so thankful to him for that. Anyway, I heard about something that happened a little while ago that really made me think. You see, Jesus had been teaching a huge crowd of people, more than 5,000, I heard, and it had got quite late in the day, and everybody was hungry, but they were in the middle of nowhere. No markets around, no fishermen, no food to eat. And apparently, Jesus went around the crowd and asked if anyone had food they could share. Well, there wasn't much. But one little boy came forward with his pack up. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And he gave that to Jesus, who took it and blessed it. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's not going to feed 5,000 people. And I know I would have thought that same. But you know, Jesus is amazing. He can do anything, and anything is possible for him. So he prayed, and he broke the food up, and he passed it around. And sure enough, there was enough food for everyone. There was even loads left over. Well, when I heard what had happened, it made me realise something. It's not what I give to God or how much it is. What is most important is that I can give to God. God's not bothered about if I have loads of money to give or loads of gifts to use for him, but he is bothered about me, doing what I can to serve him, even if it's only small. So yesterday, I went down to the temple to give my collection to God. Well, there were lots of people there. People that were so rich, with so much money, and they were putting their money in. They came in all big and loud, showing off all the money that they had, and wads of money. And they put it in the collection. They wanted everyone to see how much they were giving. They wanted people to be jealous of how much money they had to be able to give to God and to help others. Well, I was a bit nervous when it came to my turn to go and put my money in the collection pot. You see, I didn't have a big bag of money or a big wad of notes like she had or anything like that. I didn't even have one note. All I had were 2 small coins like these. So I crept up to the basket and I quickly dropped my 2 coins in. But just at that point, I heard a familiar voice. I heard Jesus talking to some of his friends. He'd been watching, you see, and he said, this poor woman, me, with almost nothing, puts those rich people to shame. Where the rich people were giving a few notes or a bag of money, hardly a drop of what they actually have, this woman gave everything she had. And it's true, you know, I would have given more if I could, but I didn't have any more to give. I just wanted God to know that he is the most important thing to me, not money. I want to give what I can, even though it's small, and I know that whatever little I give to God, he can turn it into something big. What about you? What have you got to give to God?
Fantastic. What a great story. The poor widow knew that it didn't matter how much she had to give. What mattered was that she gave what she could to God for him to use. God's not bothered about what you have to give, whether it's a lot or a little. He's bothered about how we give it. If we are giving things to him or giving things up for him, but doing it with a bad heart or feeling angry or grumpy about it, then it means nothing to God. The widow gave all she had, knowing that God would use it. She didn't look at what others gave, but focused on putting God first in her life and giving him what she could. When we give up selfishness and when we give what we have to God with a thankful and a grateful heart, he can use our little to make something big happen. When we let God multiply and use what we give him, he can use it in amazing ways. Now you might think, well, I don't have anything to give. But my challenge for you this week is to think, actually, what can I give to God? My time spent reading my Bible, praying, or listening for his voice. My money in helping someone who doesn't have the things they need or in giving to charity. My love in showing love to others just like God asks us to. My talents in using the gifts that God has given me to worship him and teach others about his love for them. I want you to spend some time coming up with ways that you and your family can give back to God using what you have. Maybe helping your neighbours or giving to charity or helping someone who you know that is lonely. Our Bible verse for this month will help us not to be selfish, but to put God first when we follow the most important command, just like the poor widow did. Let's recap our verse for the final time this month. It says, Jesus said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul and mind. This is the first and most important command." When we love God with all our heart, soul and mind, we don't get selfish and want to keep what we have for ourselves. We want to give what we can to God. After all, he has given us everything. Let's give up being selfish and let's ask God to use what we have and what we give him to help us go up in our friendship with him. Before we finish, let's pray. Dear God, thank you that you give us all the good things we have in our lives. Thank you that you don't care how much we are able to give. You care what our heart is like. Help us to have a generous heart that gives to you so that you can use our little to make big things happen. And help me to give up being selfish, but instead give what I can to go up in my friendship with you. Amen. We hope you've had a great week. Look on our Junction 252 Facebook page or in the email your parents got for crafts and activities all about the poor widow. And we'll see you very soon. Bye for now.